performance theory. So, Mary, what does that mean? Are we comfortable with that, Monica? Are we comfortable with performance theory? What does that even mean? Okay. So, when we say that you're performing the memory of tradition, is relating it to a whole body of literature called performance theory, that what we do is a performance of ourselves, right? Whether it's gender, we're not born gendered, but we are actually enacting our gender in everything that we do. Does that make sense? So performance theory, when we say that we're performing the nature of tradition, we're saying people are making conscious choices to act within tradition. It's not that we kind of naturally go about it, but that we look at tradition and we do things according to how they have been done in the past. And by doing so, that solidifies our relationship to ourselves, to our families, to our tradition, to the past. It reaffirms our identities. So even when you have somebody doing something very wild or different, they're still doing it within the context. So for example, Catherine of Siena, we were just talking about her in my grad seminar. She's drinking cuss. She's wearing the cellus. She's doing these things. She's anorexic. She's radically changing the gender boundaries of what it means to be a Catholic woman in what something like that. I hope so. Don't write it down. But still, even by doing these radical acts, she's performing the memory of tradition because she's doing them within a Catholic context that valorizes asceticism, that valorizes suffering according to Christ, as Christ suffered. So when we say that she's performing the memory of tradition, she's not just kind of like waking up one day and being like, hey, I'm going to do this of her own free will, her own choice, or her own imagination, but she's doing it within the traditional context. Make sense? Oh yeah, I mean he's definitely he's not going to get too heavy into performance theory, except for one chapter on performative linguistics, which is we thought that was hard, but we might even skip it. So don't think too badly about that. June, Kim, thumbs up. Here. Yeah, right. You should know that you know that I know that we know that you have. Abir, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Performance also implies the significance of the audience too, right? So like the person who's acting is necessarily going to be responded to by the people who are actually
Absolutely, because nobody's asleep and alone, right? There's more than the person so that there has to be an audience factor in order to categorize as a work group, right? That's also why Waldemar is clear, straight up, that he has followers, right? There are people who adhere to his new world order and want to follow his example. Okay, I think I went all the way around. How's that? Brenda? Am I done yet? Brenda? Kevin? Nancy? Kevin, you're here. No, and Nancy's here. All the way around. All right. And Ariana can what's this, you guys? Is it lunch? Still trickle in. All right, that's cool. So let's talk about labor. Any other questions on what? Anyone go back to it? Raise your hand if you went back to it. I'm feeling lost. Okay, 1. Gold star for you. Well done. 2. Gold star for you. It did? A little? The more you hear it again and again and again, the more it will accomplish. So don't get frustrated. We're going to do something kind of good, but first, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about Weber, and then I'm going to make you get up. And you all know, here's a question, do you know your Shakespeare who's well? No, not enough. You know more than them? If you know more than their name? Yes. many of you guys know more than their name? Okay, good. That's enough. That's enough to have a class exercise about interworldly and otherworldly subsystems. Okay, so we've got Weber. Maybe I should get a pen and be proper. Because I don't have to be starting board. Weber is a German sociologist. He was very famous for a 2-volume work called Economy and Society. Massive. In fact, I quoted him in my book. And I quoted page 1117. And when I did that, the copy editor circled it and said 117. She was a little crap. And I said, no, I read 1,700 pages. So I did the suggestions. Ah, voila. Can you still see and feel how I'm delivering mine? Okay, so we're talking about Max Weber, because he's German, don't say Weber, German sociologist, and he's famous for so many different discussions on German peasantry, on charisma. One of the primary things that he did in his Facebook Sociology Religion, which is just excerpts from Economy and Society, to create a theory of substance. And he divides the aesthetics of the world into 3 categories. One is the interworldly aesthetic. I'm not going to write aesthetic as okay? So we're talking about one interworldly. If you would like to move forward in the field and become a scholar of religion, you have to know my sermon. If you don't worry about it. Which is interworldly. I'm not a German person, but you have to be able to read it. Okay, world. Do we give you that? Yeah. Okay. So, worldly. The second is worldly asceticism. And it's no, the German is just like the Greek, right? For ascetic, right? The same way that we had it before. And then for world rejecting, and then the last, which is a bit tricky wicket, is the mystic. And even Weber's not clear. Did you guys read this? It was short. It's only 10 pages. I hope you could get through it. Yeah. And he jumps all over the place. And then he would just say point A, point B, point C. That would have been really helpful, right? But instead he's here and there and he's all over the place. What?
I saw a question mark on one of the things. That's where I started to get confused. So I was like, oh my god, what is this?
Yeah, don't ever pay. I give you a PDF and it's got underlines on it. Know that it was probably the very first time that I read it, like in 2002, so I would have much different things to say today. But sometimes it's helpful. So he divides very famously asceticism into 3 different categories. The inner world, which he will later develop into a very famous book called The Protestant Ethic in the Spirit of Capitalism, right? About the Protestant ethic. That's just it. So he wrote Society, the Economy of Society, of which about 1,300 page poem there was a small book called The Sociology of Religion, which is taken by and religion back courses, Sociology of Religion and Science. With all his thought kind of put together in one on religion. And that's what this is excerpted from, by the way. That's what you're reading. Excerpted from. And then famously he wrote The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism. So interworldly asceticism, and then you have, oh sorry, rejecting. So one is within the world. One is also within the world, but rejecting the world. This category is what we've talked about the most so far, right? Rejecting the world. And then the third is mysticism, or what he calls, and we can argue with him. Please feel free. Whenever I sign something, you should argue back at him. But he's talking about mysticism as flight from the world. So let's look at the characteristics of these. Let's start in reverse order with this one, with world rejecting. So world rejecting asceticism, as I said, is most of what we've covered so far. It begins with conception that I think it is institutional. That helps us to think about the difference between world rejecting and mysticism. It's when he's talking about world rejecting, for the most part, although he gives some Buddhist examples, he's talking about Christian monasticism. I think he gives examples from all over the world that I think rereading Weber again, I think he's talking about Christian. So this is the flight from the world, but it is also oriented to activity within the world. So it's not just kind of sitting in a cave and meditating, but it's about labor. It's about self-deprivation.
Christian mysticism?
Monasticism.
Monasticism.
Yeah, monasticism. I think this is what he's referring to, because monasticism, if you remember, is based on labor, based on self-deprivation. In that way, it is in the world, but it's separate from the world. It is in the world, but it's also flight from the world. And these are some of the tensions you can see Abraham walking along the line of it. Yes, they're there, but they're not. If you imagine, like, I keep thinking of that great movie, The Integrate Silence, but if you can imagine a monastery that's a bit far away, right? It's not right in the center of town, but it's on a hill, it's in a pasture, it's removed. If you go to Buddhism or Confucianism in China, they can be far, far away, hard to get to, right? So it's extra social. And when I say extra social, I don't mean, sometimes when you say extra social, people think super social. That's how we use it, like large and extra large, like large people, extra large, but we're talking about extra social, like outside of the social, extra like beyond. Okay. He talks about how these world rejecting ascetics are attempting to overcome temptation. So you can see we're going to get into this with the Desert Fathers. It's kind of the beginning of the torments of the soul, of removing oneself from society in order to test the self. And with a concentration on the goal, and the goal is salvation. So the goal is the boon of salvation through the testing and the disciplining of the self. Right? And this is where we've gotten the model of regulating sex, regulating food, regulating sleep, regulating time outside, regulating labor, regulating bodies, regulated time of monastic. And remember, we've talked about that there has to be the subjection of the self, of this kind of like regular, everyday self, in favor of a higher self. Mm-hmm. He says on 171 that the ascetics have an assurance and a grace when he is conscious that he is being a tool of his love. So this is where we have the idea of I am God's agent. One replaces one's own agency with the agency of God. And here, if you want to refer it back to Fred, you might view this as the ambiguity of the ascetic self. your mind. That when you wake up, you think, I, the ego, am hungry. But to kill that hunger through this stuff, through kill the ego with the ego. So that's all world rejecting asceticism. It's pretty cut and dry, right? Pretty clear, pretty direct. Let's go then to mysticism, which is kind of in the same category. Not quite. So he gives a couple of examples of this. Mostly he's talking about rejection of the world. He also talks about solitude, about light. So really antisocial. You can think about a monastic institution as actually still having some sense of the social to it. The mystic is alone. The mystic is solitude. The mystic is silence. The mystic is flight. Contemplative. He also says a game activity. So we're, as the world rejecting is labor in service of God, to fill the self with God, here you have the activity. Or what might appear from the outside. Solitude, sitting, quiet. I think, whenever we read 19th century European thinkers, we have to think about the worldview within which they are existing. And I think that's something with Weber right now. From the way I'm rereading this now, between worldly aesthetic, world rejecting asceticism and mysticism, I think he sees the divide between East and West. Mystics, as he sees them, are the inactive, passive, Eastern, or right with Orientalist language, right? This idea that that's where Weber is coming from. He often talks about Hindus and Buddhists with the terms mystic. We have to keep that in mind.
Arguably fall into both of these categories, right? Because they have to labor enough to sustain themselves, but
right.
then, and that is working in the world, right? And in order for them to successfully do this, right, there are people who know about them, right? And so there's a distant performance sort of happening.
Absolutely, that's a alms, right? And relying not on the fruits of their own economic activity, but on alms. And you're right, there is a sense that even within the monastic of China, there's a far away alms, right? There's something that is supporting their performance.
So it appears to me either they are in the world enough that they're working on alms, which allows them to be inactive, or they're laboring enough that they don't have to interact with others so that they can support themselves.
And I think there's also a combination of both. Like, yes, you kind of have some people who are like, I haven't come off this mountain for 20 years. And then you have some people who come down every 2 years and take them down and get them all and go back up, right? So I think there's a great film called Amongst White Clouds. You know this? It's wonderful. I think it's on your list if you're interested in mountain Chinese. And you do get a variation. You get some guy who's just like, what are the meaning of life? Shut up and help me pull this weed. Right? And then it's so wonderful, right? But then you get other guys who are more interested in Southern philosophy, who stay up forever and come up and down.
Is that kind of what was? I don't know if you've seen this movie, like 7 Years in Tibet. Is that kind of what was going on?
Well, the 7 Years in Tibet genre, just like Kundun, is a whole kind of particularity of the romance of Shangri-La of Tibet. So that's a particular Hollywood trope.
Okay. All right.
That is enacted, right?
Yeah.
People going off to Tibet to find themselves and to talk with masters. Even you have it on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Right? Homer goes to
Yeah, I watched something.
He goes to with the blue and he goes up to the Shangri-La and he says,
yeah, yes, like one question. You can ask one question.
It's a
Yeah.
cultural thing to have the kind of Tibetan Lama as the realized masters instructing the European and the American novice. Yes, that's the thing. Even amongst white cops, there's just a little bit because it's a white documentary film maker who decides he's going to go and read these monks, so you can see it during the day and again. So that's a whole different story.
Okay.
Let's talk about that later. So A mystic is an ascetic. He maintains himself. This is interesting. He finds his certification of grace precisely because of his behavior in the world. So it's not that God is giving him grace, but that through his behavior, he is grace. He stands in opposition to the world. So this is somebody who might call into question everyday values that we hold to be dear, like I want to get a good job, that I want to be successful, that I want to find a good life, that I want to have more children who go to college, whatever it is, right? All of these kind of daily ideals that we might keep within our hearts. The ascetic, or sorry, the mystic radically says that doesn't matter. Or I have different goals. Or my goal is doing God. All else pales in comparison. Weber says that his actions show that he is personally executing the will of God. Something really interesting, right? So you think about this person as embodying the category. I think God is probably using our biggest reason Eastern, right? Here's where we get the roots training to be God. So you have embodying God here and claiming to enact the will of God. In this sense, oftentimes the mystic, again, like an extra social, is extra institutional. This does not mean super duper institutional, it means outside of institutions. So like we have the monks in the mountains of China, we have wandering ascetics, India. Sometimes this happens in Europe, in European history, but not as much, right? This is a very Asian model of the wandering monk. You might think of like, if you think about Hollywood, like Jane Eaglemore's book on virtual reality and Kung Fu Theater, right? Anybody remember Kung Fu Theater? No. It was raised on Kung Fu Theater. That's terrible. It was like a Sunday 11 a.m. thing about Kung Fu, and then you had the Oriental monk who came to tell the truths about life in general. Anyway, read Jane Eaglemore's book, Virtual Orientalism, about Orientalism in Hollywood and the figure of the wandering monk. So I think that this is Asiatic is also a trope, right? It's also a trope that we are recreating by even calling it that they were also playing within. So we have to recognize that.
Extra institutional again? Well, what's the definition?
So while we have the world rejecting aesthetics on the Krishna monastic model within a monastery, which is an institution.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Extra institutional, just like we had extra social, means outside of institutions. Operating outside of institutions, not within the monastery. Can we go somewhere? Think about making clear the distinction between West and East. These two are blurred in Weber. In my opinion. Did anyone else feel like that? You're reading? The difference between these two? I don't think it's a tight category. Alright. One last one, and then I'm going to have you get up. So get ready. Inner worldly asceticism. Now, this is really quite different. Inner worldly asceticism, you have in the world, this is a very common thing that we see in Protestant Christianity. It is often categorized with a catchphrase you might know, which is in the world but not of it. Okay? So these people are particularly within but not of. This is a Calvinist idea. So here you have people who are acting within the world, but they have the they believe that they have the obligation penitence in their own prayer, but actively do labor within the world. According, actually, I can add this for reality to transform the world according to his under Good. So this is almost like you can read it as a missionary impulse. So asking to transform the world according to his or her own personal aesthetic ideal. So it's not only that they want to be rational and sober, but they think other people should be rational and sober. This is a rational, sober participation in the world. The idea that this rational state will reduce lasciviousness. Lasciviousness means sexual promiscuity. It will punish sins and rebellion. You want to think about the ultimate example of this, go back to fifth grade in your mind and remember the Puritans. Sober living, sex only for children, no pictures on the walls in the churches, no smells and smells of religion. This is rational quietude. And this is an interesting form of discipline and asceticism, which doesn't encourage flight from the world, but rather says that one should labor, and according to those fruits, one will be rewarded. It's a particularly Protestant form. We have this somewhat imbued in American culture if we think about Ben Franklin. Anybody know any of Ben Franklin's phrases?
A penny saved is a penny earned.
Beautiful. Well done. A penny saved is a penny earned. So frugality, early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, wise. Wake up early with the sun in order to labor, and go to bed with the sun after your prayer. It's a very ascetic discipline. Something else, anyone? Idle hands are,
The devil's plaything.
Mom, well done.
Yeah.
Someone raised you in a certain way, I'm afraid. Right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because they're focused on work ethic, right? That God rewards work. That, in fact, if one is idle hands are the devil's playthings. That if one is idle, that it breeds opportunity for sin. And that one will be rewarded in heaven for relatively with one's actions on it. So just as one does here, so this is a Protestant understanding. Also, anyone ever come to a Quaker church?
Yeah.
Yeah? I was at one recently. Very interesting. So it's focused on silence and focused on divine light, on personal contemplation. So similarly, some of the aspects that we have to asceticism, solitude, and contemplation, and silence, and becoming aware of one's conscience through personal introspection, those are form of inner world of asceticism. A big, not very good word, still, strong focus on labor. That one must act in the world. And it's not the kind of radical asceticism like here we have pure celibate. This doesn't say pure celibate. You're allowed to have sex but only to have children. So everyone has 3 children in their life, you're allowed to have sex 3 to 5 times. That kind of thing. Through a hole in the sheet. This is what it is. Similarly, it's not that one must kind of fast for years on end, but one need not eat indulgent foods. Right? This is kind of bread and water diet, just enough to keep the body going. So we can look at inner worldly asceticism. You see why it's called inner worldly, right? You're in the world, you're doing labor in the world, you have a wife, you have a family, you have a husband, etc. but there's minimal indulgences. And most of us don't live in this way, right? To do only the bare minimum of what we need to sustain ourselves. Like chocolate, alcohol, whatever else your life is. There's run through this is the idea of prosperity doctrine that God rewards those upon pious who have pious behavior. And so if you express this kind of piety in your life, then you will be rewarded either in this life through actual prosperity, like material prosperity, or in future lives, in future life income. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense, right? If you have to have that reward system, because otherwise why would you deprive yourself? Similarly with other motives.
Ultimately, salvation is
Ultimately salvation is durable, and that should be rewarded in some, right?
you can't do it to get rich.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
that's actually how prosperity gospel like morphs over time, right? You know, and it becomes something people do to gain wealth in this life. But originally, yeah, it was a goal of salvation.
And aren't the modern prosperity gospels say that is how they act, but they still sort of justify it spiritually by saying that they're only successful prosperity in terms of gathering prosperity because they're doing it right and God is just blessing them.
Would you say that interworldly is in opposition to world projecting and mysticism? Because I know, like, in the origins of that, well, from the classical last quarter, that they said that was a way of gaining control over the religious sphere as well through the state.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, whereas mysticism and world projecting, like, they kind of do their own thing and they're kind of free to do whatever they want because they know they take through their own mode. That the interworldly, like, where the Protestant ethic arises, so like, indulge in, like, this state. Like, okay, don't overindulge, so you're not, like, taking away our resources. Go to church at this time. It's like a way of rule bounding them.
Who's they?
Um,
Like the state?
the state and the church, that was the combination of it, no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you can look at it like that. You can definitely, that gets into what Faber's larger argument is in the Protestant ethic, is that it's completely bound up with not only the state and the church, but also an economy, a particular form of economic relations with capitalism, right? That if we teach people to kind of labor hard for rewards in the next life, then we get good work. And so what they were going to argue is that those two things go very well together. The Protestant ethic, that they just recited of Benjamin Franklin, is very easy example, so dependent on the rise of the nation state and the rise of God. I mean, they all go together. Now, what's giving me pause is the way that you explained it, which other scholars would echo, it's not just you, right? Is the idea of kind of like a conspiracy theory. Like they did it. Who's the they? That makes me concerned. Is it just a confluence of time that Protestantism after the Reformation came up at the same time as the birth of the nation state, at the same time as capitalism? Or was there really like a secret army behind closed doors creating all of these things to come together at the same time? I think it's quite a bit more. Not always a good question. And there are arguments against the Protestant ethic, so I don't want to like put forward a big discussion on that right now, but just so you know, good. Okay, now I want you guys to do this activity. You have half an hour, and what I want you to do is I hope you guys, it's pretty hard we can do it outside. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to stand up, and I want to put interworldly asceticism at that door. Let's make a Q. And then I want to put world rejecting asceticism at that door. Mysticism is somewhere in the middle. And I want you to stand where you think your case study person is. And talk to the people around you to see where you line up. Does that make sense? I'm tired today. Talk to the person next year. Oh, no, because she's got it. She may be switching her mic. Yeah. You guys come back and pay your steps. Put the foot down and get in line. It's time for the next to go.
Over then, 1 to 5, but at the end of my in-school, basically subjugated and co-opted.
And I know you know what
Dinner, yeah.
So inner Robbie's over there. Aerobic, I think over there. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know, like, the rejection of the world is all too, like, contemplative. Very difficult, I guess. I feel like yeah, like, half yours is like Batman, right?
Yeah.
I have Batman. I think it's Mississippi.
Yeah, I was looking at that right now. I'm like, it could be Protestant ethics too, but like,
Because it's like,
that's what I was like reading right now.
you have the obligation to transform the world.
Yeah.
I think I'm. No.
Alright, you good? Everybody talk to the person next.
Let me see.
You have like a Superman.
Yeah, I'm like going through both of them, like Protestant ethic and mysticism. So
Talk to the person next to you. Compare.
I don't know.
Are you guys all listening?
I think it might be mystic.
Mystic. They
Yeah,
operate on their own.
yeah. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't even remember. Okay. Oh yeah. I didn't even remember that I had that right there. That's okay.
I want to talk to you about it. So he just recently got
What he's doing is about this. Yeah, I was saying, yeah. Yeah, Montessori. Yeah, exactly. Any diet something more. He kind of isolates himself. That's cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think what he kind of isolates himself. Yeah, no one was kind to outperform himself. Yet he has this ethics, which he bestows on the world by doing things and changing things. Like people are, like he tries to alter the world by, like people are.
Alright, so I want to start. I want to know who we are and why we're standing where we are. So, let's just start. Can y'all comfortable standing for another 20, 30 minutes or something? Tell me somebody start. Who you are, why you're there.
Right, and him, I chose Marie Laveau, and the reason I'm studying for yours because she didn't really describe herself as anything. I really don't know much about her yet.
Okay. Who's Marie Laveau? Okay. Who's the other one who's doing Marie Laveau? Do you know anything about her?
I don't know much, but she was a voodoo queen. There's not a lot specifically known about her.
Did she live in the world?
Yes.
In New Orleans
she was
or something?
also like supposedly like she had like a prostitution.
So why are she's having sex and she's living in the world?
Well, no, like she doesn't have sex. She's the.
Oh, she is the madam.
She's the
okay.
madam.
Anybody know anything else about Marie? I don't know much about Marie Laveau. She sounds kind of social to me. You're interworldly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Perfect. And she's not really going to do you. She just picked her for today because she hasn't picked yet. So don't worry. You guys aren't double duplicates. All right, who else is interworldly? Sorry about that. Makes a lot more sense. Go ahead.
I'm doing yoga for John, which is like,
Budgeon.
yeah, he's a leader of this movement, Kundalini yoga and Korea,
3HO.
3HO, yeah. And basically he doesn't do Buddhism, but he branded his own kind of yoga where they wear certain clothing. It's like in and out.
I think you should come more towards the middle. Come in the middle. We're going to rearrange people. Because he's wearing different clothes. You're maybe like, here. Because we're in a gradation, right? We're from world rejecting over there, inner worldly here. So Yogi Bhajan is acting in the world. He's got a following here in LA. And he's wearing monastic kind of clothes.
Yeah.
They're the Sikhs with the white turbans, right? He had some transgressions where he had sexual affairs with his followers.
Really?
Yeah, in a bad way. But he's kind of preaching celibacy for the most part, except for some, so he's kind of here. All right, who else do we have?
I'm doing Rasputin, and I can't really say in terms of like what he preaches, but he is inwardly, as in he does not deprive himself.
Well, and he's the king's advisor.
Yes, that's his following, like Romanov family and all those underneath him. Like that's his following.
Yes, he's definitely in the world. Political actor doing political things. Absolutely.
I am doing Taranatha, who is a 5th century Tibetan monk and the lineage holder of the Jodong tradition, which was essentially subjugated into near extinction by the end of his lifetime.
Where's that from? Like, give me a place in the world.
In Tibet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buddhism?
Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, yeah. Esoteric Vajrayana. And he is definitely interworldly because he is literally in the world but not of it, in the sense that he is an incarnation of a previous guru. And also he is famously one of the most prolific scholars of this lineage. So he wrote many, many books in order to be able to, pass the knowledge that he has along to other people, and specifically a particular esoteric ritual tradition that he sort of cultivated as a major part of Vajrayana, which has now been co-opted by the Galen tradition.
Yeah.
So he's definitely acting in the world in order to be able to not only save himself but also help save others.
Now that's a really interesting case because here you have a monk within a monastic tradition. So you would think it would be over there, right? But he's an active participant acting in the world as a political actor. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think he should be there. Okay. Somebody else over there? Talk to them. Yeah, I'll hide over here.
I chose to do Saint Sebastian, and I don't know a lot about him, but what I did end up learning was that he ended up being, I think, part of like the Roman army during this time. I don't remember what his time is. So he was definitely worldly in that sense because he was trying to convert people to Christianity while he was around, and then he got arrested in like the military tried to kill him for converting others.
Just like Joan of Arc, right? As somebody who is, even if they are doing, we don't have a Joan of Arc, do we? Wow, that's amazing. That's the first, right? At any rate, just like somebody like that, even though she is listening to voices from God, which you might think is mysticism, right? Or that she is celibate, not getting married, so you might think it's world rejecting. But if you're leading an army, you're probably doing something in the world as a political actor. So that's an important thing to consider. Although you could make a case, right, for Saint Sebastian as well if he's here. So let's, because of time, we'll come back on this side, but let's hear a little bit more about who our world rejectors are.
I chose one word as my thing, but he could have been over on the world or your world resources side, but I chose the world rejecting side because I feel like this is like the ultimate God to God to himself and his followers. It's more of kind of like he's going against ideal world. God does want to reform the world, it's more of reforming the world for his own benefit versus for changing the world for good. Does that make sense?
I don't know, what do you guys think? Where would you put Voldemort? Class? Because most of you guys at least know Harry Potter. Some of you guys don't know Saint Sebastian, but most of you know Harry Potter. You think it's world rejecting?
Because he's not trying to change the world for the better. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
World
because he
rejecting.
was part of the world at one point, and it's very clear that he's not a normal citizen and normal, like, part of the community.
Well, some part of me seems like he just wants to mess things up. Right?
like, wants to destroy the world.
Yeah, like maybe he doesn't have a plan.
He's like going against God authority figure.
Mhm. Like a world denying figure. You have the same question if you're doing like a whisper, right? Okay, good. Elbow somebody next to you.
Well, I think I'm in the wrong section. I'm doing wrong now.
Mm.
I went over here initially because
That's a hard one, right?
yeah, so I'm not
It's totally hard.
but then you wrote like a bunch of quotes and
You like stand in the middle somewhere here because you can make the case. I'm not really gonna make you stand by yourself, but you can. But I do think you can make the case either way, right? Because he is world rejecting in the sense that he's, almost like a mystic. Actually, come. Because I made Ariana move, so you move too. So come toward mystic. Stand next to Ariana, actually. Yogi Bhajan and Ram Dass. So Ram Dass wrote "Be Here Now." He's writing books, so that means he's kind of in the world.
Yeah.
He also got married, right? Yeah, and so he's got a partner. Well, I'm not sure if he's married. He has a partner. He's telling mystical tales though, and the LSD puts you on the mysticism front, right? Where he's having experiences that are. By the way, I have a friend who just got in trouble for talking about drugs at Berkeley. I don't condone drug use. I'm not telling you to do drugs, but we're going to have to talk about drugs in this class, right? Just so it's explicit to everyone here. Just so we're clear. LSD, Ram Dass, he's doing drugs. We can talk about that as like a modern flight from the world of a mystical experience, which he still advocates absolutely today, right? Of that this is how to do it. I think you're in the right spot. Okay, over there again.
My name is Brittany Walter, and I chose to be here because she had a baby without having sex. So it's like,
Cool.
and a lot of people are like, so she actually
Okay, so she's having babies with not having sex. Is she celibate? Okay, and you get a lot of that in Catholicism, right? A lot of the virgin birth kind of thing, virgin brides, et cetera, et cetera. What else? Do you know anything else about her? So we don't even know if she's of this world at all. Yeah, I would say that you're somewhere between here. You'll have to learn more about her, but for now, I would put you there as well. Anybody else? Okay, let's see. You'll do it jury by trial. Who are you?
I picked this guy's father, Yod, and I think he studied under your dad. I don't know enough about him yet. Then he kind of had to call me and said that he's not fully set it outside of the world. I put myself in review. I don't know. I just got confused.
That's okay. Why don't do you have your phone with you? Or somebody Google Father Yod. Tell us more about him, and then we'll tell you more about where you should be. YOD. But because I don't know him personally, but if he is 3HO Kundalini peoples, then oftentimes the gurus are somewhere in here because they're acting within the world, teaching and developing followings and developing schools and hospitals and things like that. But they're also sometimes celibate, wearing special clothes, denying themselves luxuries and indulgences, etc., with mystical experiences. That's where you tend to end up. But we'll give you just a minute until we get a consensus. Do you have something on it?
It says he was an American owner. I'm just reading stuff. Of one country. I don't know.
All right, take your time. Somebody else.
Yeah, he founded a spiritual commune in the Hollywood Hills known as the Source Family.
Oh, I know the Source family.
He,
Okay.
He owns
I'm
one
good.
of the
Yeah, you're over here.
restaurants. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a restaurateur. He's actually, you guys know the Woody Allen movie where they go to the restaurant and what is it? Somebody tell me? Annie Hall. Thank you. That's the Source family. That's when they go to the restaurant in LA. It's like the classic LA New Age people. Like, oh, would you like some scrubs with that?
Wow.
Right. That's the Source family. Okay, yes, you're here because they are envisioning a different way of living, right? A whole different sense of how one might live, but yet they're also in the world. So, and I don't think, actually, come over here. I'm going to put you at the end of world rejecting because I don't think it's that much. Right? That's a little bit different, but you're at the end here where you're also acting in the world, but you're not quite of the world. Anybody else want to go over here? Giselle, what are you doing? You're sitting down. I got tired of standing. Well, let's take a vote on that, actually. What do you guys think? Explain. Yeah, what Virgin Mary? I guess that's what I would say. And who's the Virgin Mary? It's like meta now. We're in trouble. That's the one. Except that we know that we have Marys all over the world, right? We have hundreds and hundreds of Marys all over the world. So we might want to think about like Our Lady of Lavang, or we might want to think about Guadalupe, or we might, And we have to like think pretty hard if we're going to put the Virgin Mary on these sides. So what did the Virgin Mary do? Who was she according to the Bible?
That dedicated her life to the temple, and then once she was, I guess, chosen by the angel of the Lord to carry the Son of God, then she fulfilled the obligation of the.
So is she like a visionary with a new sense of how the world should be? Or is she kind of like doing what God says? Get over here. What?
Like her own opinions about Jesus' life. I think those have also positions her.
Yeah.
Because she's not like, oh, my son's a prophet, like, listen to everything I'm saying. She's sort of skeptical about it at first as well.
She's skeptical about it at first, as well as she doesn't have her own vision for, reforming reality or her own asceticism. Like her asceticism is related to maternal obligation, not obligation, but even like a choice, right? That she does her duty, and she doesn't say like, hey, I'm going to develop a new ascetic path. She leaves that to her son to do. The fact that people follow her in that vein, I think, is different. Okay, who's over here in our mystics? Yeah, go ahead. I like you. I like your Yoda. So.
Well, This seems like a good kind of like common ground, like as far as like it incorporates both elements. Like you can see like where sometimes it goes from inner thinking, and then sometimes from this one. And I thought like I can kind of see Yoda in both realms, like throughout. Like if you look at the movies, for example, just as a basis, he inhabits both throughout. Right. At one point, he's very an active participant, like within the academy, he's teaching the living earth and stuff like that. And then he has to enter a condition, a state of like a hermitage. He has to seclude himself. To where I would see like he's not necessarily rejecting the world, but he's forced into that condition because of this.
Don't say little about you. If you're gonna do it, you gotta do it for real.
Oh no,
yeah,
no. Well,
I'm with
because
you.
he's forced into it because all the Jedi's at a certain point in the movie, they're being sought out and they're all being killed. So he's forced into that. He's forced into solitude. So I think that's where it's kind of different. It's not really of like his own will. It's because he has to do it.
I think it's actually a really interesting case because I grew up on the first Star Wars where Yoda was wholly world rejecting, right? He's on Dagobah, he's raising the ship, he's doing all this stuff. And then when I went to see the newer movies, the audience got so excited when Yoda fought for the first time, right? Everyone cheered. And so his move from world rejecting to inner-worldly to like getting in the battle, everyone's like, what? What's going on? Right? Here's this hermit come back to actually engage in society. So yeah, I think it's interesting. But then he also has like mystical, his whole character is mystical.
Talks to the Force.
He talks to the Force and he speaks in, different kind of language. Right? Verb at the end. Yeah. And cryptically, I think you're there though. I mean, because you want to think about also, this Nietzschean model of Zarathustra, like someone who goes away and then comes back to teach. So Yoda is a great example of that, like somebody who's far away. Luke has to go find him, and it's a very Asiatic model, right? Of like going into the mountains to find the teacher, going to the swamp in that case, or whatever, going to another planet, let alone, and then somebody who then has to come back to society to teach. To engage or to save the world, right? To save the Jedi.
The question is, does it matter in which order that they do it? Like, could you have been like a hermit first and then gone to like teaching, or like?
I think usually it's hermitage first, right? Hermit first, and then teaching second, because the idea is that you gain the insight that you're teaching through the seclusion, right? That makes sense. Anybody else have somebody like that? Yeah.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I have Superman, and he kind of a little bit like Yoda. Like he comes of age at a point, and then leaves his family, to seclude himself in Fortress of Solitude, to learn the ways of his father and his people. And through the teachings of his father, he pretty much learns how to live in the world, but not of it, and to help the people. And then kind of like pretty much like people come to see him as like a kind of savior person, like and at the same time he kind of just teaches the world like how to be. He's not of any nation, so he kind of follows his own rules and kind of has his own ethics about things.
That's good, actually, to think about. Superman's a great example because we're all familiar with it. To think about how the saint is marked as different. Right? Like, they're not ever quite like everybody else. They're always marked as somewhat separate, not just regular humans. And you see it in Superman stories. It's like, how's he going to get married? To Lois Lane, right? But like, the question is, even among the saints and gurus, that their relations with other humans are problematic. No matter who they are, whether it's Milarepa or Anandamaya or Yogi Bhajan or whatever, that relating to other humans becomes very difficult if you're marked as so distinct. You're marked as so different. Anybody else want to go?
I'm not sure I'm learning anymore.
Yeah. This is another thing too. Like if you need help, this is a good chance to get a classroom vote. So don't be shy. Yeah, hit it. Inner worldly's on this corner, world rejected on that corner.
Because I think it's like you were just saying of like he's a teacher of what the state is like what's some Thank you.
So he's a teacher? What do you guys think? Now again, we all know this guy for the most part.
Does it depend if it's like you're if you're going for either a saint or for arguing for saint?
Well, I mean, let's evaluate him as per his own instead of just the category. If you guys are getting really tired, you can. We only have 4 more minutes.
I never read the book, so but it seems like Dumbledore doesn't exist in the regular world, right? He exists as the leader of a arguably monastic style institution, right? And he's teaching them how to follow in the rules of this inner sort of circle, right? Which is separate and separating itself constantly from the rest of the world.
He's extra social.
Right. So to me, he seems very much like an otherworldly figure. But I mean, I don't know.
I think it depends if you regard the world as the magic world, or if you regard the magic world as different than
Beautiful.
normal world.
Beautiful. Do you see that question? So, like, if you are myopically engaged only within Christian asceticism, then that's your world, right? It's only from an outside perspective that it looks like it's not your world, that they're otherworldly. So that calls Weber into question, right? Like, who is otherworldly according to whom, right? Where's your world?
I also don't know a whole lot about Harry Potter, but I would say that from what it looks like based on the movies, he's teaching adherence in both worlds. Because there's certain rules that the students all know that they have to adhere to, like they can't bring out their wand or whatever. I don't know, like they can't use magic like in the real world.
Right.
There's rules, and he.
That's true. So he knows that they're extra social. And you might argue that if you are the arch nemesis of Voldemort, then you're both going to be standing right next to each other because you're actually like mirrors of each other. You know what I mean? So I'd go. See you later. Anybody? No, go stand by Maha all the way. I'm gonna make you move. All right, good work. It also is helpful. It's helpful comparatively. So this is what Floyd was talking about. We started the class with can you do comparison? Look at your neighbor immediately around you. You might want to talk, right? You all might have something in common as you're working on your case studies. So here's my guy, and he's doing this, and I'm finding this to be helpful to think with him. Right? Okay, somebody else want to go? Yeah, you should go, maybe.
Okay, so originally I was going to do Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, but I just made a game time decision to switch to DJ Khaled. And it might seem funny, but at the end of the day, he has a following. And he's preaching nonstop, and he does, to a degree, given the world that he exists in and works in, he's.
Yeah, you gotta tell me who he is. People don't know.
So DJ Khaled he's a musician type of DJ.
Do you guys all know these people? How many of you guys know who this person is? This is sick. It's interesting.
Yeah. So he blew up big time in the last 5-6 months probably.
Okay.
And I think that he would be an interesting case study because there are ways. I mean, you could easily say that he's not at all. I'm sorry. Yeah, he uses social media, so it's easy to dismiss him as sort of rude, but at the same time, he does have a following. What he's saying is similar to what a preacher or a saint would say, and he does reject aspects of this world that a lot of people in his business would never reject. So he doesn't do drugs.
Okay.
He doesn't drink, but he constantly promotes alcohol. So it's interesting. I think he's so married to the journey of success that I don't know. I would have to really sit down and think about how I could sort of relate that to the journey of enlightenment. You know?
Right.
What is something you said?
That's one of his catchphrases.
What did you say?
The key to success.
They
don't want to success. He has tons of keys to success.
Okay.
So I'm sure, if you Googled it, there's probably people who've already written down all of his keys to success and made an organized book on
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and what we see among all the different people is that they have different goals, right? Superman's goal is more like peace on earth. Your goal is maybe
Money.
success, money, right? Whereas the different goals over here in some of the more traditional saints would be communion or salvation or union with God. Some of the gurus are going to be prosperity or union with God or self-realization, right? And some of you over here, what's Dumbledore's goal? Like peace in the wizard world. I don't know. Right? But the end goal might be different, but the means seem to have something in common, right? Instructing with a new worldview, bodily habitus of change, having some form of asceticism, which chooses the denial of the self in favor of that higher goal, falling into place. Good. Anyone? Everyone, thanks for getting up. See ya. Dessert time.